Hello everyone and welcome back to Team Fortress 2. So this is my third King of the Hill map that I've created using the Source Hammer editor. So I'm going to quickly go through this map again and talk about the different level design features that I've tried to include within this map. So currently we are in the red spawn room as well. As you can see, I currently only have the dev textures on here because this is still a work in progress map. But hopefully this should still play pretty well. I've already done a few playtests and people seem to like it so far, so I'll quickly talk about the different changes and iterations that I've made on the map thus far. So first thing you'll notice is that when you come out here, there's three different ways you can go. And if you go down any one of these ways, there is this door here with a window so you can see out. You can see there is this way here, which is this middle plate that allows you to go both directions here, and there's also this door here, which allows you to come out this way. Now, the reason why I've decided to include so many exits is because in previous maps that I've created, there's been a bit of a problem with spawn camping. So basically, if the other team comes from down here, there'll be plenty of options to get out. It's also the reason why there's a staircase here as well, because this will give the players who are coming out to spawn, a advantage as well. So, for example, they're coming from down here. Well, I've got the height advantage. I can use this in order to defend myself down there. So that's the first feature that I've done as well. You'll also notice I've got the windows as well here, which just make it a bit easier for people to see outside of it as well. So for example, if I'm in spawn like this, for example, I can actually see people outside of there. I can tell that they're about to come through here, so I can wait, so if they're spamming rockets or something, I can wait in here for them to run out of ammo and come around and start fighting them. Then again, what you'll do is you'll come into this little battle arena as well, so you can jump down from here, start fighting them as well. And as you get down here, you'll notice there's three different ways. You see, for these levels, what I've decided to do is I've decided to use a certain formula, for the Team Fortress 2 style of design. So we go from spawn room, we've got like a courtyard, then we've got three possible paths, then another courtyard, three more rooms, three possible ways to go, courtyard, and then the control point in the middle. So I'll explain how that works. So as you can see here, we've got this way, which can come through here first. You've got a bit of a choke point around here, so enemies fighting here, you'll need to fight a bit back and forth as well. And this time, we've got a slight difference as well. You can see the enemies here can technically fight as they've got the advantage here as well. They can use this as cover by standing back here, which is pretty useful. But in order to counteract that so it doesn't feel overpowered, you've also got this way, and you've also got other ways of going. So you've got two different ways. You've got this way here, which has got the steps on it, and these steps are pretty useful because this gives you a small height advantage and the ability to sort of peek around the corner and see enemies coming. And you can see this little staircase there as well. And as I come around here into this middle point, you'll notice this is a proper height advantage as well. Now, with certain classes and things, you can actually jump on top of these containers as well. So if I was playing Scout, for example, I could jump on top of those and fly around a bit more, which would be a bit more, efficient use of space as well. As slower classes like the Heavy wouldn't be able to do that. I've also placed some ammo and health kits as well, so players who are fighting up here, can actually survive for a bit. Another thing that's quite interesting is that a lot of classes, they can't actually jump up here. One or two of them can, but most of them can't. So like Heavy, Medic, Sniper, they won't be able to do it. But again, Scout can actually get up here as well. So that's another useful feature of that class. As you come around this area, you'll notice you've got this big building in the middle as well, which has got a different texture than all the others as well, because it makes it stand out a bit more. And as you come through here, you'll see you've got some lighting, and you've got another health kit and another ammo set. Now this is a good area because it actually allows for sniping. So you come up here and you can play as like a sniper class, and you can start fighting each other. So you can see there's the snipers over there, and you can also see you can snipe slightly into these buildings. However, you cannot snipe onto the points. That area is defended from snipers. You can also see into these sort of areas down here, which are pretty useful. So if I go in the other directions as well, you've got two different choke points. You've got one choke point here, and you've also got another choke point over here. Now, part of the reason why I've decided to try and use these different choke points is because I do feel that, it'll be nice to have, the defending team here who've got the height advantage here, they can still defend. So, in other words, you can also go underneath, you can flank them, there are different flank routes, which will be pretty interesting, I believe. Another thing that I've also tried to incorporate within this as well is a little bit of smoothing within the environment. So if I was to, for example, reverse here, you'll notice that I'll actually be pushed. Now, the reason for this is because you can't actually get into this direct corner. And the reason for this is because I've put an invisible barrier here as well. So if I'm going back like this, for example, you'll actually be pushed in this direction, and that just makes it feel a bit more smoother. So you see, do that again, and same on this side. And the same thing goes for inside there as well. There's actual smoothing on some of the corners as well, just so that if you're like fighting in reverse, you'll actually have a decent chance to survive. Underneath here, you've got a little hidden pathway as well, which you can use for flank, which again is good for different faster classes as well. It'll also be pretty good as well if you're like with, like, for example, heavier stuff as well. So you've got, for example, you've got like people coming in here, you can come with heavy and spin up your attack with your machine gun. And here you've got the central point. Now, the central point here, you'll notice there's a couple of different ways that you can actually go. So, for example, if I, if I was up there and I was playing as the demo man, I could actually jump in and land on the point like this as well, and I can actually start fighting and dropping stuff on stuff like that, which I think will be pretty useful because it means that there is multiple levels of verticality within the environment. Another thing I'll quickly go over is, certain things I've done in order to polish the environment as well. So, one aspect that I've tried to keep into mind is that there is a lot of clipping as well. So if I try and shoot up here, you'll notice that things get stuck in the skybox there as well. Now that's actually partially a deliberate choice because I don't want players being able to get out of the map and starting to hurt themselves basically. Because if you were to get out of the map, you'd just fall to infinity, and that wouldn't be fun. So by doing this, basically, if any classes can actually get up to that point as well, they'll basically just get hit that as an invisible wall, and they'll fall back down into the battle arena. So that's a good little bit of feature as well. The same goes for most of the buildings, although this building can be gotten on top of, as you can see by the lower height. So if I go quickly down this direction, I'll go into the blue spawn quickly. You'll notice the blue spawn, and is kind of like reversed from the red spawn as well. So both spawns do have the same features and stuff as well, but they are reversed as well. So for example, this is on the opposite side of this one. And if I try and actually get into the spawns, you'll notice there is actually these big blocking volumes as well, so I can't get into their spawn, so therefore I can't spawn cap them. One aspect that I also tried to do as well is I've also put these little walls as well. You'll notice I've got these little doorways in place, and the reason I put them in place and rather than having it just go straight is because this stops you seeing into their spawn properly. So, for example, if I was stood here, charged up with like a really powerful attack and stuff, I can't actually see directly into their spawn properly. So this is really useful because it means that I can't actually just spawn camp them all the time as well. And again, they can come and flank me from the other sides as well if they do see me looking in here and being like, here and attacking. So that's currently where I'm at with this map, and I will probably again come back to this map at some point and finish off the refinements such as the materials, add in a few more details and stuff as well. But so far I'm pretty happy with how it plays as well. I do think that people are, I've seen have been enjoying the map, and I've been getting some good feedback. This is probably one of my better Team Fortress 2 maps so far, being my third one, and I do think that I'll keep improving them. For my next video, I'll probably end up involving going back into the Unreal editor and showing you my new little project. I've been working on that for a while or so, which involves a dragon game. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.